I'm going to show you how to put your notebook together. First thing we need to do is to access your Google Docs. So open up your web browser. You're going to go to Google. From Google, you're going to click on Google Drive. This should bring up all of the different files and folders that you have in your Google Drive. Today we're just going to be working on the notebook. So I'm just going to click on Notebook. I've created two different files in here, or different folders in here. One is the appendix. All the stuff that goes in the appendix is going to be things, let me show you, are going to be things like your syllabus, your lab safety, your chemistry tables, and your common lab equipment. These are all things that you can easily download from Angel. Once you have downloaded them, just save them to your Google Drive. So we have them here. I've went ahead and numbered them 1, 2, 3, and 4 because this is the order that I actually want to put them into my book. So the first thing we need to do is actually save them onto the computer so that we can use a program to put them all together and make one large PDF. So what I'm going to do is minimize this. I'm going to go out to my desktop. I'm just going to right click and I'm going to hit New, and I'm going to make a folder. I'm going to call that folder just Notebook. So now I have a notebook folder on my desktop. I'm going to open it up. Because we're doing two things right now, I'm going to make two new files. So File, New, Folder. The first one I'm going to call Appendix. The appendix is just where we're going to put information that doesn't really necessarily pertain to any one specific thing. It pertains to the whole class. The next one, File, New, Folder. This one's going to be called Unit 1, and this is where we're going to put all the work that we did in Unit 1. So I'm just going to minimize this a little bit, put it over to the side. I'm going to go back to my Google Drive, and I'm going to do the same thing, minimize it a little bit so I can see both of these at the same time. What I'm going to do is open up the first one, which is the syllabus. It's number 1. And what I do is going to open up in Google Drives. Down here is a button that says Download. And what I want to do is download it because it's going to allow me now to save it to wherever I want to save it. I'm going to click on Save File. I'm going to open it, and I'm going to find on my desktop notebook. I'm going to click on Notebook. Because I'm working with the syllabus, this is for general chemistry class, I'm going to click on my appendix. And this is where I'm actually going to save this. So all I have to do is click Save. If I go over and look at my appendix, there's the syllabus. So that one, first one is in here. Now we go back to the Google Drive. It opens up a whole bunch of stuff. You just need to close this. From here, I just need to close this out. And I'm back to my appendix on my Google Drive. So I just want to go through the same steps. I'm going to click on my chemistry, the safety. I'm going to download it. It's going to ask me where. I'm going to hit Save File. It's going to take me to the exact place, same place on my desktop. And I'm just going to click Save, and it's going to save it there. I'm going to again close this view. It takes me right back to the appendix in my Google Drive. So next I want the chemistry tables. I'm going to go over here to Download. I select Download. I'm going to save the file. Click OK. It's asked me where to save it. It's going to be again on the desktop, in my notebook, in the appendix, with the other two documents. Click Save. I'm just going to cancel out this, close this, and now I have my last one, which is the common lab equipment. So I'm going to click on it. Again, click Download. It asks me what I want to do. I want to save it, and I'm going to save it with the other files. So just close this out. Now I can see that I have my 4 files here, and I also have those same 4 files in my desktop, in my notebook, and the appendix part. So I now have all 4 of these documents all saved onto my desktop. The next thing I need to do is to actually put them all together, and we're going to use a program called iHeart, or I Love PDF. So all you have to do is put in your Google I Love PDF. This is the page that pops up. iHeartPDF. So what we're going to do from here is we're going to merge PDF files. So we click on Merge PDF Files. It takes us to this where it says Merge PDF Files. Select the PDF files. Well, we want to select those PDF files that we just put in our appendix. So make sure this is the right one. We click on our desktop, we go to Notebook, we go to Appendix, and here are those 4 different documents that we want to put together. All we do is click on the first one, which is the chemistry syllabus, click Save, and it pops up right here and tells us exactly what it is. Click again on the next because we want to add more. We're going to do the lab safety, click on Save, and it comes up. Do it again, chemistry tables, hit Save. We now have 3, and for the last one, common lab equipment, hit Save. Now we have all 4. They happen to be in the correct order, 1, 2, 3, 4, but if they weren't, we could still move them around. So I can take the common lab equipment, which is number 4, and move it up just by clicking on the arrow, and it moves up to the 3 spot. And if I want to put it back down, I just click on the down arrow, and it goes back to the 4. So I now have them in the correct order, and I can put them in any order that I really want. From here, these are the 4 different files that I want to put and make it into one large PDF. So the next thing I'm going to do is hit Merge PDFs. What it's doing is taking all 4 of those and making it into one document. When it gets done, it brings me up a dialog box that lets me either save it. I can go ahead and save it now and be done, or I can open it with the reader. And I want to open it with the reader because we need to put page numbers on it. And I'm going to hit OK. So it opens it up in our Adobe Reader, which you're very used to. If you go over to the top right, you can hit Sign. When you hit Sign, it allows you to add text. We're going to add text. I can then close this. I want to change my text box. So I'm going to come down, and this is where I'm going to put my page numbers. This is the appendix. We're just going to put letters. So I'm going to click here. I want to change this to, let's do Arial Black. And I want to change it from 12, we're going to go 14. So if you open up a book, the left-hand page is always going to be the first page. So what we're going to do is put it at the bottom left-hand corner. And this is going to be page A. Now the second page, we're going to put on the bottom right-hand corner. So that we're thumbing through the book, it's always going to be on the outside. So this will be page B. We scroll down back to the left. This is C. Back to the right. This is D. And we just continue back left and right, left and right. E. F. G. Just want to stop on this page because this is where your safety contract is. If you got the other things off of Angel, they are the proper ones. They are the newer ones that I want you to get. But I do want you to actually insert yours so that this is already filled out and you already have your signature and all your information. So this is a blank page. This is going to be H. I did put some blank pages in here. Again, you can take notes on them, but it's also kind of space it out. I want this reference table to start its new page. I want it on the left and right hand side. So I put in an extra blank page. So we're going to go from H. We're going to go down to I. These are numbered as well because I actually got these from another source. J. K. L. M. N. O. P. Q. R. S. P, U, and finally V. So I now have them numbered. They're in the correct sequence. So now what I do is I want to save it. So I go up to File, I click on File. I want to save as. This is going to allow me to pick where I want to save it and what I want to save it to. Well, I have all these things in my desktop, so I'm going to click on my desktop. It's in my notebook. This is the appendix. This is now complete. This is everything that's going to be in the appendix. So what I'm going to call it? I'm going to call it appendix. Let's go back and take off cap locks. And from here I can save it. And let's just check to make sure everything is there. Here's my notebook. Here's my appendix. I look inside. I have 1, 2, 3, 4 different documents, all the ones that I want to have. And I also have my appendix, which is what I want. This is to complete the full thing. So now I have all 4 of those all saved as one document in the appendix. The next thing I would do, I would go up, I would click on Unit. So where am I going to get the information for the next unit? Well, I go back to the internet, I go back to my Google Drive, I then go back to Chemistry Notebook, I look at Unit 1, and these are the 5 things that I want to put in Unit 1. So I'm just going to go through the same process. If you already know how to do it, there's not much left. If you want to review and you want to keep going, we're just going to keep going through this. So I'll open up Scientific Notation. Again, it's going to open up inside Google Drive. Again, when you see this, you might get worried that the first one's blank, but again, remember, the first one's blank because this is where you should have taken notes. So there should be some notes on this page. We're going to go down to Download. We're going to save the file. We're not going to save it in the appendix. We're going to go back to the desktop, back to Notebook, but now we're going to go to Unit 1, and we're going to save Scientific Notation. We're going to close this. We're going to close this. And we're going to pick the next one, which is Significant Figures. Click on Significant Figures. We're going to download it. We're going to save the file. We're going to save it right underneath the Significant Scientific Notation. We're going to close this. We're going to close this. We're going to go to number 3, which is Metric Conversions. We're going to download it. We're going to go to Save File. We're going to save it. And again, we're going to close so that we can get to number 4, Dimensional Analysis. We click on Dimensional Analysis. We hit Download. We're going to save it. We need to go back and close this, and the last one, Converting Real Things. We're going to download it and save it. So once again, we now have all these 5 are also going to be here. So they're in your Google Drive, but now they're also on your desktop. From here we need to take them off the desktop, and we actually need to convert them and put them into one big document. So we're going to go back to the internet, we're going to go back to iHeart PDF, we're going to go back to Merge PDF Files. We're going to do the same thing we did before. We're going to select those files by clicking Select PDF Files. Again, this is the appendix. We don't want the appendix, we want Unit 1. We're going to click Scientific Notation, we're going to add it, go back to here, click Significant Figures, we're going to save, select another one, Metric Conversion, save, select another one, Dimensional Analysis, save, and finally Converting Real Things, save. Once again, we have those 5 documents in the correct order. You don't have to have these saved as number 1, number 2, number 3. I just did that so visually it's easy for me to see, and also now it's easy for you to see. Once we have these 5 documents and we want to convert them into one, we're going to go back and hit Merge PDFs. It's at the bottom. When you click on this, it's going to start compiling all these together and make one large file. So now it's going to ask us where we want to save it. We can also open it. So again, we can just save it to the same spot, but let's open it up. Now, this is the first page of 24 pages. We're going to do the exact same thing that we did before. The only problem is now, we've always had odd numbers on the right-hand side. So what I did was, for the first blank page, which is going to come up on the left-hand side, there's no even number. So I didn't put 0. But the first page number is number 1. It's going to go on the right-hand side. When you open up a book on the right-hand side, you're always going to have odd numbers. So this is going to mimic what we're going to have in a book. So page 1 is our scientific notation rules. So all I did was the same thing. Click on Sign. I go to Add Text. From text, I can change whatever I want. I can make it larger, smaller. I can pick the font. Just going to go down and click on it. I've already done it so that we don't have to watch me do it all the way through. So this is page 1, page 2, page 3, page 4. Yours should be filled out. Page 5. This is the blank page for significant figures. When you open up your book and you can see these are going to be side by side. So on the left-hand side, you're going to have page 6, which is going to have your notes. And on page 7 is the notes that I actually gave you. So page 7, again, we start blank. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Here's all the answers. 13. This starts our next thing, which is page 14. And again, your blank pages probably shouldn't be so blank. I'm also going to write up a little bit and put it in Angel so that you know what pages are associated with which document. Okay, I'm kind of just scrolling through this so we can get down to the bottom. 22, 23. So our last page is 23. It's an odd number. It's going to be on the right-hand side, even though we have 24 pages. So I'm going to go to File, and I'm going to click on Save As. I'm going to go back to my desktop, because that's where we're saving all this. In the notebook, I'm going to go to Unit 1, and this is now going to be called Unit 1. This is the complete Unit 1 with all of those 5 documents in it. So I can click Save. Now from here, this is the document, this Unit 1 is what I want you to put in the Dropbox for your notebook check. Just Unit 1. As we collect more and more units, we're going to then take and go into another program, and I'll bring that in later, of how we're going to compile those into our flipbook. So hopefully this was helpful, and hopefully you get it. And if you have any questions, just ask me in class.